whatever he's saying he's paid, it's actually 50% of what he should have paid. Okay? And the allegations, the reason why he's actually decided that he doesn't want to do the franchise, has he actually explained to you why? He hasn't. And I think as a journalist, I think you need to get the full picture rather than just saying to me, when are you returning, the money?
The why, how would it even be factored into any discussion here, seeing that as at yesterday you had already offered half of the amount?
I never offered anything. Yesterday, what has happened, this young man, what he's done, back in April, he came to me asking, in fact, he came to me asking, initially if I could be his mentor, because I've been in the sector for such a long time, okay? And then I do quite a number of presentations, giving people the opportunity to invest in a franchise, because I've got more clients than probably most other people in our sector, okay? Then I did a franchise presentation on 2 occasions, if not 3, just making sure that people clearly understand what they're getting into. Because sometimes people think when they hear about a franchise, they can throw their 46,500 in and do nothing at all and expect to get some outcomes. Yeah? It doesn't work like that. You've got people pay to have access to the contract, to have the support, and also to make sure that they've got someone who is mentoring them to for the business to succeed. There's been quite a number of instances, in particular in relation to Raymond, whereby I actually found a client for him, okay, with requirements. And then he said he was going to get 10 people to move from Northampton to Peterborough. And then after that, he changed his mind. He wanted to move to. I don't know whether you're reporting or not, but I can't hear you very well.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So he then changed his mind. He wanted to go to another, location, which we actually allowed him to do. And then when he moved into another location, I told him the clients that we signed up to. And they have their particular compliance requirements. And Raymond was actually going against what the client wanted. Like for instance, they wanted PMVA to be done, particular time to be done, and he was actually not in agreement with it. Yeah, he didn't actually agree to what the client wanted to do. And at some point, he would say, "Oh, I'm not available for meetings because I'm a small company and I'm doing all the driving for the staff and things like that. Can we put the prices on hold?" Which we did. Okay? And then he came back afterwards, I think August last year or something like that, with a person that he wanted to be a registered manager. Okay? And then all of a sudden he said he didn't want to do the franchise anymore. So it doesn't work like that. See, we are a legitimate business. And I've been around for 21 years. I don't benefit anything at all whatsoever from taking 26,500 from someone. To say that it's fraud, it's not true. It's somebody trying to get attention, and somebody thinks that if it comes to you, you can put pressure and you can make a payment. It doesn't work like that. I'm just actually speaking to you out of courtesy, because you do need to have the right facts, the right information, because I'm regulated by so many organizations. There's no way I'm going to jeopardize my business for 26,500. But on one hand, again, if people go into commercial contracts, they need to understand exactly what it is. This particular gentleman, like any other franchisee, they've had the opportunity to seek legal advice. They've had the opportunity to ask me any questions they may have. And in fact, at some point last year, Raymond actually contacted pretty much everyone, all our clients, to the detriment of our contracts, where he's making all these allegations. And I think as of last week, he did contact quite a few people on LinkedIn, my professional colleagues, my clients, with his email, I think the one that he forwarded to you. Yeah? We are not in dispute to the fact that he did pay, but he paid 50% of what he should have paid, and he just decided to pull out.
Well, so let's just assume it was 50%, but it is money that he paid, and you claimed. Hold on, let me finish. Dennis. You claimed that there is a contract with the Priory, and there's no contract. I've got the documentation here from the Priory. There's no business here. This franchise that you released to him, the promissories do not exist. They are empty. The promissories behind just a name. Let me finish, Dennis. Behind just a name. No, why are you disrupting me? Let me finish, please. Let me finish my question. No, let me finish.
Of contracts with the Priory. I do have evidence of contracts with the NHS. I do have evidence.
So are you? So where is the business? Where is the business? Show me the business.
Do you understand how a franchise works?
I do understand how a franchise works, and this particular one, what you promised, is not what came out. There is no business.
And I'm happy to have a live with you on Facebook that can help you, because what you are doing, you are making an allegation. I have the document. I have the document. The signed contract with these people that he's saying there are no documents.
Send me those documents and we can check their validity. It's not complicated, Dennis, if you have the documents.
That as a franchise, we are the franchise is actually a network. Yeah? Raymond does not have to have a master copy of the agreement, but we have it. You understand? We have it. And the nature of the contract, just like, if say for example, if you came to me, asking to buy a franchise, we look at your territory, okay? And then we introduce your company, your branch, to the local authority or to the NHS. And once that happens, that contract will then become a subcontract in your name, okay? For whatever he's saying that we say there's contracts for him. Sorry, 1 minute. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Oh dear. Sorry. Hi, Sipa.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. What he's saying, that we say that there was a contract in Northampton, there's this, that, and the other. That's not true. What happens, there's absolutely no way I would promise him a contract in Northampton which requires CTC registration without him having one. As part of the arrangement, we're going to have to apply for his CTC registration and then to approach the local authority and tell them that we now have a local branch, under Renaissance. And, they're operated by Renaissance Pathway. That is a process, yeah? But he is twisting information to try and discredit me, which is not true.
And okay, Dennis here. You're now calling this a process. Did you say at the beginning that there was a process rather than an actual? Let me finish. An actual contract. Did you? But you never, Dennis. You never said that there is a process at the beginning at all. You never said that there was a process. And Dennis, lastly, no. Let me finish. Dennis. You never. Dennis, you
were not there.
Dennis, your claim that you cannot deceive someone simply because you're regulated. How can it be credible, seeing that there have been many instances in my interactions with you where regulations have been breached? My own written interactions with you, there have been breaches of regulations, not just that, but even breaches of morality, Dennis.
I've not had any conversation with you.
If you check in your email, Dennis, I have had conversations with you. We have had conversations in the last few months. Yes, where there have been. Let me finish. Where there have been breaches, not just breaches of
Yeah. You are one. Sipa, you have a kangaroo approach to your journalists. You called me, and I'm just giving you courtesy to speak to you. Yeah.
Well,
you are making allegations.
Do you think I need your courtesy?
You need to find the real information, which is what I'm giving you. You can publicize whatever you need to publicize in your paper.
Well, this is the real information. This is the real information which you are evading here.
the person who's contacted you is making false information.
What is
Saying
false?
that
So far, you haven't said one thing that is false, Dennis.
Well, listen, Simba. For instance, he's saying there's no contract. I have the contract. Yeah? You know that last week Raymond contacted me asking if I can give him contracts to give to the Home Office for him to apply for his sponsorship allocations. Yeah? Suddenly, he doesn't want the franchise. Suddenly, he wants the franchise. He doesn't want the franchise. The only reason why he's upset right now is because he suddenly decided that he can use my company to apply for the the COS applications, allocations. That's the reason why he's upset. I'm not going to provide him that because as far as I'm concerned, he's actually damaged the reputation of my company. He's in breach of the non-disclosure agreements. He's not following the right procedures. He's trying to make sure that he names and shames. He's already contacted lots and lots of people in my LinkedIn professional network. Yeah, a lot of people know me. Simba, you don't know me, but I'm one of the 4 Zimbabwean-owned agencies that's been around here, that's been doing the right thing over the last 21 years. Yeah, for you to try and just come to me with a view that I've defrauded someone, I think that's actually in itself is not honorable.
What is wrong with him complaining?
Complaining to who?
Yeah, to whoever.
No, but when you enter commercial agreements, you should know that. Yeah, when you enter commercial agreements, you are bound by confidentiality matters. You're bound by non-disclosure agreements.
What confidentiality is there in making a complaint over what has not been delivered? Show me that confidentiality clause if it exists anywhere. And Dennis, that is that not what we call here a clause that is defunct from inception? Dennis, there is no confidentiality clause that exists. Okay, that exists or that is enforceable where you are barring an individual to complain over something that is not being delivered. Is that not being abusive? Let me ask if that is that not being abusive?
No, Simba.
No. I'm asking you. Answer me right now. Are you not being abusive for demanding for someone not to complain? No. Dennis, answer me. Are you not being abusive by demanding that someone should not complain over something that you didn't deliver? You promised to deliver a franchise with contracts, and the Priory, for instance, have disclosed that there's no business at all. Are you not being abused? Are you not abusing someone here over something that is so clear? And in that, are you not being deceitful, Dennis?
No, there are better things that you can be doing. Right now, your conversation, you came to me, you're not willing to listen. You came to me one side.
Oh, are you willing to listen, Dennis? Are you willing to witness? Why can't you pause and allow me to speak and ask you a question and you keep quiet? If you are honest, are you really an honest person? No. Dennis, are you an honest person? Are you an honest person? Are you an honest person?
They are afraid of being in your paper.
Dennis, are you an honest person?
People know me as a credible person. I've helped so many people in this country, yeah? But don't come to me and say to me, when are you returning money to Raymond? You don't know nothing about the agreement. You were not there when you did.
Well, so far you have shown that you don't have a basis at all to claim that this man. What basis? What basis? Tell me. What basis?
I will not even give you the chance to speak.
What basis do you have?
We are not being fair.
What basis? I'm not being fair. You're saying I'm not being fair.
You were not there. You're not acting professionally as a journalist.
Okay. Tell me. Where's my unfairness? Can you pause then? Let me finish what I'm saying, and then you tell me, because you see, you yourself, you're not being fair.
You asked me to return the money to him. That's what you said. You understand me? You said to me, you must return the money. You should have said to me, Dennis, or Mr. Mawadzi, as most people call me, can you explain what happened? I've made a complaint. What is your side of the story? That's what a proper journalist does.
Well, I could easily go back to what I actually said right at the beginning. That was my approach. That is exactly my approach, Dennis.
You say it's a fraudulent activity. When are you paying him the money? So you can't get the right information.
That is not what I said, Dennis. You are exaggerating now. So Dennis, tell me. Okay, so let's wind down here. Let's wind down here. Yeah, I'm giving you 4 hours, okay, to really ponder this through. Yeah, to really ponder. No, hold on, Dennis. To really ponder this through. If you said that you would like to go on a live broadcast, I'm ready for that as well. Okay, Dennis, you are accountable. No, hold on, Dennis. You are accountable. Okay, you are accountable to the public. Okay, you are accountable.
Accountable to who?
You are accountable to the public. You offer services. You are accountable to this man. You're accountable to this man, okay? Let me finish, Dennis. Let me finish. If you are not deceitful, you will pause and you will listen to me. You are accountable to this man and to every other client, every other prospecting client in the future. Okay?
You're talking hogwash, you're talking crap.
Yeah, well, you are accountable. You have to be accountable. You cannot offer business in the UK and you're threatening people, telling them that they can't complain about your service. Now, what type of a provider are you? What type of a franchise provider are you who threatens people and tells them that they cannot complain?
I have evidence to the contrary.
Well, I'm giving you 4 hours, Dennis. This is up to you, okay? I'm giving you 4 hours right now, okay? I'm giving you 4 hours. If we can connect, or call me at 8 o'clock and tell me what you think, how you would like to proceed here over the 26,500 that you owe this gentleman.
You've got nothing better to do.
Okay.
You've got absolutely no value. You don't have the right values. Wakaba company yet analyze all those things.
Which company? What company is that?
The care company.
What company is that? What company? What are you talking about? Are you honest yourself, Dennis, that you can actually talk like that when you have a simple matter? Yet 26,500 that you owe this man.
I don't owe him any money.
So why, if you don't owe him, so why are you bringing all these aspersions?
You are not.
Why are you bringing all these aspersions, talking like a fraudster?
I'm not a fraudster. I work very hard for my
fraudsters, they throw aspersions, Dennis. Fraudsters throw aspersions, okay? Fraudsters are never direct. They avoid simple questions. They avoid evidence. They throw innuendos. They avoid the truth. They obfuscate the truth. So I'm asking you, Dennis, okay? I'm giving you 4 hours, Dennis. Dennis, I'm giving you 4 hours.
Your 4 hours means nothing.
Okay, so ndikupa 4 hours. Anditika, wondi contacta kuti urida kufamba sei. Anditika, toziva kuti wakufamba sei. Ndakuudza, Dennis, I've already told you I'm done with you. Okay?
For me, I'm done with
you. You cannot scream at me. I didn't put in I never transacted with you. I just asked you simple public accountability questions. As a provider, you are supposed to be taking notes right now, not screaming at me, not screeching at me. You're supposed to be taking notes. Dennis, you are supposed to be taking notes, okay? As a provider in the United Kingdom, someone who is doing business in the UK sits down there. Even if what I'm saying here is not true, you're supposed to be taking down, not screeching at me, and then later on you can make responses. So far, you have demonstrated the character, the behavior that fits into the category of someone who is dishonest, Dennis. So I wait on you. I'm giving you 4 hours, Dennis Mawadzi. Okay? I'm giving you 4 hours.
Give the 4 hours to your parents, mate.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I've given you 4 hours. Thank you.
Do whatever you want to do. I don't give a
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And